So let's go on this side. Over here on this side. Everything is done on this side too. Fenced in. Gate. We did it, y'all. Now we gotta come back for the next phase. All right, I'll talk with y'all when I get back in the office out the rain. Hey, yo, what's good with y'all, man? So, hey, I am back in, out of the rain, chilling, man, and just kind of wanted to go over the project with y'all, sitting in the comfort of my studio, just recording. So I'm just back in. I want to go over everything. So we finished up the first part of the project, as y'all seen on the video. Finished that up. And got that done. And this was one of the biggest projects that I have ever done. This was one of the biggest projects that I had ever done. You know, cutting trees was not hard, and I'm gonna tell you the work wasn't hard, because it's not the fact of the work that was the hardest. It was the expenses, the cost, overhead, all that, labor hours, hauls, just that was the biggest difference. The work, one thing I have learned about being in business, when you do it for so many years, like if you, we started out as we started out cutting trees, and at the beginning is what I started out doing, was a tree company. And then I got over into lawn care because it was easier, but then I came back because I really wanted to learn how to do trees, and I went to school to learn how to climb a tree and do everything and become professional at it. And then got into grading and got into doing more things over time to get better and sharpen my skills. And I still study to this day to get better and better at understanding how drainage work, how to try to measure when you're doing the slopes of how, for every foot, how many inches should the slope be? You know, just codes, me with the code enforcers, how to properly take down a tree, just everything that comes with it. You know, learning about wheat straw. Sometimes it's not best to put wheat straw in the grass when you're putting grass seeds down. And I learned that because when you put the grass seeds down after grading, and you go put your grass seeds and then you put the wheat straw, well, you don't know where that wheat straw came from. So that wheat straw has weeds that came from, like, this could have came deep South Georgia, it could have came from Kentucky, it could have came whatever. You don't know what's mixed in with that wheat straw. So when you plant that wheat straw down on the soil that you just graded out for new grass with your grass seeds, and then you start seeing a lot of weeds germinate with your grass, you like, wow, I didn't understand. I had to learn all these things over time. So I got smarter and smarter with knowledge of understanding how to do business and get better, because I always looked at it, the more skills I got, the more money I can make. I'm just going to be honest with you. The more skills that I have to operate equipment, do the things that I can do, the more money I make, because I have the knowledge, the skills, and know how to do the job. So that's why I had just consistently evolved myself to get better and better, and still doing it. And that's why I make good money. And that's why when people say, man, you charge this? Yes, because I had to learn it. So with this job being one of the biggest at one time with a customer on a residential property, it wasn't a commercial property. And I'm going to talk about the difference between commercial and residential and some of my business things that I do on my business insights, to let people know the difference. Because a lot of people think that it's no money in residential, that all the money is in commercial. That's not true. It's completely far from the truth. You have money in both. They're both different types of money. That's what I would say. Commercial makes good money, real big money, and residential make good money, real big money. Commercials don't have big money in it. Some residential don't have big money. So, but that's not the purpose of this video. I'm just saying I have learned a lot. So with this job, back to this job, the biggest thing wasn't the work, because you are able to, you do the jobs. You might do a grading job over here at a property and you get used to and start realizing how to do the grading. You might go somewhere and shut down 10 trees and you might be in the tightest spot. Them 10 trees was harder than in a tighter spot than this whole area that I just cleared out in the backyard. That was real simple to drop, versus these 10 I did before on another property. They was close to the house. They got power lines next to them. I got to rope everything, got to have a climber, I got to piece it out. So every job over time builds up your skills to know how to do the job. So the work is easy, because that's what I do on a daily. When you've been doing it for so many years, the work is just easy. Here's the part I would tell everybody: understanding the pricing. How to price when you are doing a major job. I'm not going to say I got a specific way necessarily how to do it. I just take, I guess, kind of from my years of knowledge, and I factor in all the costs that I expect for that job. And I kind of put I set a budget for myself on a monthly goal that I must meet every month to generate income. And then now I look at that job, how many days this job is going to eat up. I look at, so if I got a per day that I need to make, I look at what are all the expenses included with the job, from fuel costs to dump fees to machine equipment hours, to if you have to rent equipment, to labor costs, food costs, paying the guys. I try to look at all that and factor all that into the job. But then you always want to go over as well, because just because you might say, for instance, we estimated this job to take 4 days and it ended up taking 7. So I went 3 days over. So that's 3 extra days of labor costs that sometimes people wouldn't factor in. That's 3 extra days of machine equipment running that some people might not factor in. That's 3 extra days of fuel costs that some people might not factor in. That means if it took more days, now I possibly on this job, I had more, there was more that had to be hauled off. So there's more hauling costs that has to be factored in. So all these things are cost-wise that you have to factor into a job. So never spot on. If you think a job gonna cost $10,000, never spot on just say $10,000. You know, you have to always account for that overage. So you might probably say, if you think it's gonna cost you $10,000 for the job, you might charge the customer $13,000. You know, for this, because you're expecting for that unexpected. Now, here's the thing about it. Some people gonna say, well, you charge, as customers will say, not contractors. Customers might say, well, you're charging me extra. They don't know it's extra $3,000 on it. And I'm just, there's even the customers wise, it doesn't matter, because I'm explaining to you why, as a contractor, and customers can understand why you have to factor in some of these unforeseen costs. Now, you can't, again, account for every unforeseen cost. It could go up when you're doing a job. Customers have to understand. You could quote them 13 and it could come back and you might have to go up and it might cost them 16. You can't control the cost for unforeseen certain things. You just have no control of some things, and they have to understand that. That's just part of it, part of the business. But the reason why you're gonna, if you think it could be 10, you factor in that extra $2,000-3,000 for the job. That way, if something comes up like this job, end up going over an extra 3 days, not because anybody was slacking or anything. The job was just bigger and more work than we foreseen. I didn't expect it to go into that many extra days, but it was just a lot of work. Looking at it, it looked like, oh, okay, simple, but it wasn't hard. It looked like it could be okay, cool. I'm judging. Oh, we drop trees. This gonna be easy. We drop, and you're looking like, oh, okay, easy. But it ended up being so much more work that it pushed over into the days, because you got to clean up. You got to you don't want to have a clutter of trees as you drop, and all these trees are tied up into the workspace, and you got ropes, you got lines. You got all your equipment getting mixed in and entangled with the work. So it makes it harder and it makes it dangerous when you don't clean up as you go. So you can't necessarily say that it's going to always be that them days. So the reason why you factor in that extra cost, because when you go over them days, it's covered already. Because even though, like I just said it before, you might have to go to customers and tell them it's going to cost more. That's just, it happens. But if you can avoid it and stick to the original price that you gave the customer, it works out better. It works out better because the customer is more happier, because they like, if it was an unforeseen, because they're not thinking, they just see that number. If you tell them 10 grand, that's what their mind is focused on, is 10 grand. That's that number you put in. Once you put that number in their head, and that's what they focus on. And they not thinking like, oh, well, this came up, oh, it pushed over this. They just want to stick to that 10 grand because that's what they heard. So it can kind of save a lot of confusion, a lot of arguments, a lot of building bad relationships with the customers. And y'all can continue to do more business. You can learn from it, because you had already factored that extra $3,000 in. So if something goes over and the job end up being a $12,000 job, cool. You ain't going back to the customer because you told the customer $10,000 and going back and saying, hey, I need an extra $2,000. The customer is not focused because they already had that $10,000. They already had that $13,000 in they bring. So it stays in their range. Your profit is cool. Your profit is just a little bit better. But the number doesn't go to the customer and change because they already had that number in their head. But then again, like I say, just because I'm saying that, even if a customer's watching, that still does not mean something could not come up. Anything could pop up on the job site that could halt it. You know what I'm saying? Anything. You could be on a job and a code enforcer to come out and stop you. That's dead time. Well, now I wouldn't say that because time just paused on that. I can't think of just at this current moment, because I'm doing this video, I can't think of things that happen, but unforeseens can happen. That's why I always put in my estimates. Unforeseen can always bring it up. I just can't think, because unforeseen has happened and it's not coming across my brain right now. Then I'll stop this video and 6, 7 things are unforeseen that didn't happen on jobs will start popping in my brain. Well, you couldn't think of it when you was on video, but unforeseen does happen. So a customer always should over budget for a job. If a contractor tells you $10,000, try to do a 20% over budget to be able to kind of prep for that work. You know what I'm saying? To be able to get that done. You could be doing great and grinding up a stump, and it's something that wasn't there, and you could hit something with the stump grinder and that has to be repaired. You didn't know it was there. The contractor didn't know it was there. So it's not the contractor's fault. It's not your fault. Nobody knew it was there. So, okay, now we got to get it fixed. We have to get somebody to come out and fix that. That's unforeseen cost. We guys got to get fixed. Can't fault the contractor because the contractor didn't know it was there, and it was there, and you didn't know it was there. So you have that cost whatever it is, it has to be fixed. Now you try to call 811 dig, when you digging underground certain things to find out where certain things are, because you don't want to hit a line, or a gas line, or a buried cable line, or a buried power line. So you call certain things for certain major lines. But if it's something that nobody knew was there and it was a hidden pocket, just the house could have been an older property and it just wasn't, nobody ever knew it was there. Even 811 couldn't have probably known it was there. So you're going to have unforeseen that's going to happen on the job. So this job here ended up taking 7 days versus taking 4 days as we originally expected to take. But hey, we got it done. We got everything gone, all the trees cut down, everything hauled off, and that part is done. Complete backyard is opened up. Now, a lot of people say, how much does a job like that cost? How much would a job to clear all them trees out and haul that stuff off, how much does that cost? A lot of money. A lot of money. That was a lot of money. just in landfill fees, disposal fees to get all that stuff up, to see all the trucks, to get them big trucks to come out there and pick it up. Let me break this down. I can, you can, like, I don't have them big dump trucks that you've seen that's like 40 feet, will be considered like a 40-foot dumpster or something that's got the boom. I don't have them. So I can use my trailers that I have, but it can be much more time consuming to be able to do it. It'll be a lot more time consuming because you're getting smaller loads. What they probably get in one load, one load would probably take my trailers 4 or 5 loads for their one load. So that's very time consuming. So it's better to go with them. With somebody, when you're doing a job that big, of that magnitude, which I learned that. And I'm glad that it did go that way. I did go that route instead of, because at first I was originally contemplating like, use the company trailers and we just do it and haul all these trees out and just load them up. But like, nah, this is gonna be maybe better to get a third party, get that, and let's go ahead and let them do that. And that was a wise decision to do. I'm glad. I'm glad I didn't try to put that pressure on me and the team to do all that, to try to move all that. So that was good. But the reason why I brought that up, you're talking 600 a load. We ended up doing, I think it was 16 or 17 loads. So if you do 600 a load, that's already 10 loads is 6,000. Half of that would be 42. So you're talking about $14,200 just in hauling the wood out. That's just in getting it out. That's $14,200 in getting it out. All right. Already. So you $14,200 paying somebody else out to truck all this wood out of here on that. Now you're looking at your fuel costs, for some of the smaller things that we could do with our loads and taking some of the loads that we could take out. Fuel costs, labor costs, running them a couple of 200. So let's just say $1,000 or something to do all that. So now you're at 15,200. Now you got to look at labor costs. You got 6 guys on the job. Minimum wage paying these guys for us, you're talking $25 an hour. So let's just run 25 an hour times 6 guys is $300 an hour. Now, the first 4 days, you're running about 10-hour days. So you're doing 10-hour days, that's $3,000 a day. So now you're looking 3, 6, 9, that's $12,000. So now you're at $12,000 just in labor costs for 4 days. So now you got your $15,000 plus your $12,000. So that puts you at $27,000 that you got tied into it. You $27,000. You ain't made nothing yet. This is all your $27,000. Then you buying food for the days and all that. Let's just say for the guys, you might spend $150 a day on food. So for the first 4 days, that's another 150 is 3, so 600. So now you at $27,800. All right, so $27,800. Then now you got the extra days that goes into it to get them extra 3 days that you got. That's putting in your labor costs now. You still putting in labor costs with fuel costs. Now you can kind of shrink it down a little bit and run about 4 guys, because you got the first 4 days, got the bulk of it out. So now you're down to like $200 an hour with the 4 guys. Drop this stuff down. So you running your $200 an hour at let me see what them days. I'm not sitting looking at the numbers right now in the paper, but I think like them days was like one day was like an 8-hour day. So you're talking about 2, 4, 6, 8. That's $1,600. Another day was like another probably about $1,600. So now you're looking at what's that? $3,200 for them 2 days. So now you at 3,000. I mean, you at that 32 plus that 27,800. So that's 20. That take the 3,200, put there. That's 27,800. That's gonna make it 28, and then you put the 3,000 onto it. That'll put you at 31,000. 31,000 for them. Now you at 6 days. You got one more day that pushes over before you close out to bring them guys in. And you're just doing a little light stuff. So this is down to about 2 guys here for that final day. So you're running $100 for that. So that costing you now that you're down to 25. And I'm just showing that the average because everybody's not 25. Some could be 35 an hour. So $35, $40 an hour because you got to pay your top guy the most money to do it. So I'm just giving y'all the average. So yeah, for them 2 guys, it's going to be doing 2-3 guys anywhere between $50 to $75 for that last final day to come in and do the final little things, touch up. No, I had 4 guys out there last day because we just finished the day. So I think we went to 8 days instead of 7, but I just had 1 guy for the 8th day. So that last day probably would have been like another 1,000. So you had 32,000, and then with today, a couple of hundreds. So you had 32,000, 30 something, just round off with all the other miscellaneous 32. So let's just say total with today and everything, about $33,000. That's what you're looking at, about $33,000 in expenses. See how you already spent 33 in just expenses on all that with labor costs, fuel costs, food costs, hauling costs, all that. That's all that. That ain't even including the grinding stumps. That's just $33,000 on just doing that aspect of it. And now you got to make your profit. So you got to put profit in there for the company for them days. So at the end of the day, total job, so a job like that. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Drum roll. End of the day, total job, something like that you want to charge a customer is around about 45,000. Yeah, about 45. Now sometimes you could go a little bit higher on it, but roughly 45, 50 grand to clearing out a backyard because there's a lot of expenses that comes with it to make you some money. So by the time you break down 45, take that 33,000 off of it. Out of that 45,000, you're going to bring about $12,000 for about 7-8 days worth of work that the company profit. Now, some people might say that's not a lot, but it's part of the expenses, man. You have the overhead that it just comes with it, and that's why people think when they hear a big bill, like sometimes comes $45,000. Yeah, $45,000, $50,000. People think that you pocketing in that whole 50,000, that whole 45,000. They think that money is going 50 in my pocket and I'm just chilling. No, it's not. It's not. That whole thing is not going in my pocket. I wish it was. Trust me, I wish it was going in my pocket, but it's not. You have a lot of expenses, but that's why you want to make sure you got a company that's got insurance, that's reliable. They take safety very important. Been doing this for over 20 years, and understand and know what they're doing. So not saying everybody's perfect. Ain't nobody's perfect, but you want to make sure that they can do what they say that they can do. And that's why I love the videos, because it's one thing to tell a customer that you know what you're doing. It's another to show a customer that you know what you're doing. Because people, I don't care what it is. People are visual. And I learned this years ago in business. When I started really recording videos years ago, y'all go back and look at my YouTube channel years ago. People go by visuals, and they like, man, how I know that person just talking? How I know you just talking? How I know you know that they yep before they move, and then they want to know that they trust they got somebody to know what they're doing. So that's why I love to get visuals. I'm always recording when we are on a job to let people know, because people, unfortunately, the majority will go with what they see. And for beginner businesses that don't have all the videos to show the reference a customer to send them to, it makes it a little tougher for them because now you got to get this person to go off on faith. And most times to persuade them, you got to go drop your price down low just to get them to go, because you might have this company that the customer know, and let's say the company could be charging them $10,000. Okay, this company, the customer gonna pay, but you're like, nah, go with me. And you can't go in there and charge a $10,000 rate. They gonna ready to go. You say, look, you go with me, trust me, I do it for $6,000. Now that customer looking like, okay, that's a $4,000 saving. You know, you only might, out of that $6,000, you doing it dang near at cost for the job. You might be just doing a job. The job might end up costing $5,000 to do it. So you only make it, the job didn't got what is that? If you do it for 10% of 6,000 is what, 600? That's $600. So you end up making 10%. You make a little bit over 10% of the job. So you might make 17% of the job doing it for 6,000. So you sacrifice all your profit to get the job because that customer didn't know. But here's the thing about it. That's fine. I didn't do it. I had to do it at the beginning of starting business. I had to learn these things. I didn't know it. I had to take losses. But them losses make up later on in life. So now people pay me. Because now people want to go with the cheap. And they were saying, well, how I know you didn't do it? Now you're paying for my experience. My experience, you don't, even if it take me, if I charge $2,500 to do a tree, and to take that tree down takes me 3 hours, 4 hours to do it, to make $2,500 and drop it down. I might make $2,000 off the tree. I might make $1,700 off the tree. Like, hey, you took that down fast. Yes, because you paying for them 20 plus years of experience, consistently doing it now. I know what I'm doing. So now I can do yours for 25, go down the street and might have another job set up and do another one. That's another $1,500, go somewhere else and do another job. That's another $2,000. And in the end of the day, I done made me, $6,000 in a day's time. And I just keep it moving because I didn't learn, the experience has taught me how to do it safely, how to do it safer, faster, more reliable and dependable with minimizing the risk of injuries. That's what you're paying for now. So you have to take that loss in the beginning to do it for the pennies, because you got to build up your reputation. Now you done built up their reputation. You got that video footage. You can put it on their YouTube channel and their website. Bam! Now you good to go. Hold on, this is somebody of my kids. Come here. What's up, man?
Dude, your box truck on.
No, the box. Oh, I must have left the lights on in the truck. Oh, the lights was on?
Oh, they just told me to come tell you that your box truck was on.
Okay, all right, I'll go cut the lights off. Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
All right. So we're gonna get ready to wrap this video up and call it a day. The job is done for the first phase. I will bring y'all back in for the next phase when we start doing the stump grinding, smoothing out. I don't think the customer's gonna really worry about doing no like major grading. What we're gonna have to do is smooth out the wood chips that was over there, smoothing that out so there's no big humps and hills. We're gonna grind up all the stumps and everything. So it's really better to do that, the grinding the stumps anyway once we was done, because you had to gonna have the big piles of mulch from the grinding the stumps. So we'll be able to spread all that stuff out a lot more evenly to make it look level as much as possible. We're not, like I said, it's not going to be no major grading, because I don't think right now the customer is going to be looking to put no grass down right now. So we're just going to go in there and just make everything a little more smoother where it's not no hills and valleys. So we'll go in there, we'll do that, get them stumps grinded up, and that'll be a wrap for the backyard until the customer say, hey, look, we ready to go ahead and clean up the backyard. Oh, and we got a pile of stuff. We got to smooth out a bunch of dirt we was going to get. But that dirt had a lot of concrete, metal, and stuff mixed into it. So got a pool. We're going to separate that. We're going to take, when we do the grading, we'll take out that dirt, separate the dirt from the metal and the concrete, and put that in a separate pile and haul that stuff off. and then we're gonna be done in the backyard, and then we'll move to the front yard to do some more stuff in the front yard, to do some cleaning up in the front yard. So with all that being said, we got more trees to cut down in the front. We got to do some pressure washing to get out of mud, clean it up, everything, get it looking good. But she's definitely getting the house cleaned up. And man, I gotta tell you, they stole out my truck while I happen to pull up. When normally I'm going from job, pull up at the customer house, and I gotta tell y'all, man, they stole my doggone book bag in Atlanta out of my doggone truck. And I seen the dude do it, but didn't know what they was doing until I got home. So I'll tell you, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna drop that video on what happened with that. So I'll be dropping it too. Just this simple story. It's nothing really major, but I hate a thief. I hate a thief. It aggravates me. But hey, we out of here, man. Mr. Can't Stop, aka the Tree Spot. Just gonna start trying to give y'all these videos of doing what I'm doing, and we got that job finished up. So I hope y'all enjoyed that video, man. If y'all need to get some work done, give us a call, 770-899-7432. We are located in the Metro Atlanta area, so we service the entire Metro Atlanta area from Douglasville, Lithia Springs, Hiram, Conyers, Mableton, Austell, Marietta, Smyrna, Powder Springs, Decatur, Atlanta, Buckhead, College Park, Dunwoody, Glenwood. We done been to Noonan. We service the entire metro area. But if you're going to spend the money, I'm coming to you. Like right now, I got to do a bid all the way in Cummins. They want me to do some grading work. They going to spend the money. Me and the team is going to get that money, baby. So it's Can't Stop, man. Hey, look, man, 2023, I hope y'all have a very great, amazing year. Make y'all a lot of money. Do great work. Build great relationships with your customers. And I promise you it'll pay off. And hopefully, I can't wait. I'm looking to open up a Can't Stop in Florida, Can't Stop in North Carolina, South Carolina, Can't Stop in Texas, Can't Stop in California. I want to have Mr. Can't Stop in the Tree Spot in every, as many states as I can open up this Mr. Can't Stop brand and get it to where we're servicing everywhere. And I'm proud to be an owner, to be black owned 100% mine. Started at 19 years old. Started at 19 years old. I had to tell y'all the story of how I started, man. I had to bring it. If y'all want to hear the story how I got started into this business, I would love to share that with y'all to give y'all the insight of how I got started into the business at 19. And to be here 41 years old, 21 years later, still doing it. And my kids are part of the business now. It feels amazing to still be here doing this. What that would be. 22 years later, still here. We out here, man. Y'all have a good one, man. It's the Can't Stop, Won't Stop, Tree Spot. We out. You can't stop. Can't stop it.